Imagine this. You wake up one morning and the world is different, not in a dramatic movie-style explosion, but in the quiet, unsettling way real crises begin. The store shelves are empty, the water doesn't run, the electricity flickers, then dies. You open your refrigerator and it's nothing but cold air and leftover shadows. In moments like this, money becomes meaningless, comfort becomes irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what you prepared before the silence arrived. Most people think preparation means panic buying food that rots faster than their fear. They stock canned soup that expires in a few years. They store vegetables that mold in weeks. They throw away more food than they ever use. But there exists another category of food, almost mythical in its longevity, untouched by time, indifferent to decay, capable of lasting not years, but decades. These are the foods that outlive chaos, the foods that remain stable when systems fail, the food civilizations relied on long before refrigeration, electricity, or grocery stores existed. Today, we're not just talking about emergency foods, we're talking about nutritional time capsules. Foods that become life itself when everything familiar collapses. This is your cinematic journey into the 12 foods that never expire, why they last forever, what makes them biologically immortal, how to store them the right way, and how they quietly become the backbone of survival during moments when society slips into uncertainty. Let's begin. 1. Water, the first law of survival. Every emergency begins and ends with water. You can live weeks without food. You cannot survive 3 days without water. Here's the truth most people ignore. Water doesn't expire. Containers do. Pure water has no proteins, no sugars, no nutrients, nothing bacteria can feed on. It is chemically stable for eternity. But the moment you store water in the wrong conditions, in a hot garage, in direct sunlight, in cheap plastic, the container begins to break down. Plastic leaches microscopic particles. Heat accelerates chemical release. Sunlight deforms the molecular structure of the bottle. The water still looks clean, still tastes normal. But what you can't see is what destroys you. The rule for eternal water is simple. Store below 25 Fahrenheit. No sunlight, no garages, no attics, prefer glass or stainless steel. Never store near gasoline or chemicals. Replace only the container, not the water. Water is not food. Water is life insurance. 2. Pure salt, the eternal mineral. Before humans invented refrigeration, they invented salt, not to flavor food, but to save life. Salt is a mineral, sodium chloride, no moisture, no protein, no fat, meaning no bacterial life can exist on it. Salt isn't food, it is a biological dead zone. This is why salt never expires, never molds, never decomposes, never requires refrigeration. But only pure salt, not iodized salt, not flavored salt, not table salt with anti-caking agents. Those additives degrade, the mineral does not. If you store pure sea salt, kosher salt, or rock salt in a sealed, dry container, you have a food that outlasts nations. Salt is more than seasoning. It is a preservative, a disinfectant, a wound cleaner, a electrolyte stabilizer, a fermentation tool. Salt is the quiet guardian of your food reserves. 3. White sugar, the silent preserver. If salt kills bacteria by pulling water out of them, sugar kills bacteria by trapping water inside itself. White sugar is pure sucrose, crystalline, dry, stable. It does not spoil, it does not ferment, it does not rot, it does not attract mold. Its only enemy is moisture. If sugar clumps, it hasn't gone bad. It has simply absorbed humidity. Dry it gently and it returns to powder. Sugar doesn't need oxygen absorbers. In fact, they often introduce moisture and ruin it. Sugar is eternal because zero water, zero protein, zero fat, zero nutrients for bacteria. Store it dry. Store it sealed. Store it away from powerful smells. And it becomes a survival multi-tool. Wound disinfectant mixed with salt. Energy booster during exhaustion. Fruit preservative oral rehydration ingredient. Sugar is sweetness, yes, but it's also strength when strength is running out. 4. Pure honey, the ancient medicine. 3,000 years ago, archaeologists opened Egyptian tombs and found jars of honey, perfectly preserved, perfectly edible. Honey is not just food, it is a natural antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral solution. Honey's immortality comes from no free water, high natural sugars, low pH hydrogen, peroxide enzymes, antimicrobial compounds. Nothing can grow inside honey, nothing survives its acidity. Crystallized honey is not spoiled, it is simply sugar molecules rearranging themselves. Warm it, stir it, it becomes fluid again. The only danger, water entering the jar. A single drop can activate fermentation. Keep the lid sealed and honey becomes timeless. Honey is medicine, preservative energy, source immune booster, wound treatment, calorie reserve. Honey doesn't just last. Honey heals. 5. Distilled. White vinegar. The eternal acid vinegar is more than a condiment. It is a disinfectant, a cleaner, a food preserver, a sterilizer. White distilled vinegar is pure acetic acid in water, and bacteria cannot survive in it. It lasts forever because no nutrients, no proteins, strong acidity, no bacterial environment. But only distilled white vinegar lasts eternally. Apple cider, vinegar, flavored vinegar, balsamic vinegar. They degrade because they contain sugars. Store distilled vinegar sealed, away from sunlight. Never leave the cap open. The acid can evaporate. Vinegar becomes crucial when modern cleaning products vanish. Disinfects surfaces, cleans food, neutralizes odors, sanitizes containers, enables long-term pickling. One bottle replaces an entire shelf of modern chemicals. 6. Baking soda, the survival technician. On the surface, it looks like nothing, a cheap box sitting quietly in your pantry. But baking soda is a chemical Swiss Army knife. It lasts forever because no moisture, no nutrients, no organic compounds. Inactive until heated or mixed with acid. Its only weakness is odor absorption. If stored near onions, soap, garlic, detergent, it becomes contaminated, not spoiled, just unusable for food. In crises, baking soda becomes invaluable. Treats acid reflux, cleans fruit, deodorizes rooms, serves as toothpaste. Acts as a mild cleaner, combined with vinegar becomes a powerful, non-toxic disinfectant, but only if stored sealed and separated. 7. White rice, the calorie foundation. Rice is life in much of the world, and during crisis, it becomes the backbone of survival. White rice lasts decades because the oils have been milled away. Brown rice spoils fast because oils go rancid, but white rice has no oils, low moisture, low oxygen exposure. Properly stored, white rice remains edible longer than the person eating it. Its only weaknesses, moisture, odor. Insects, kept sealed and dry, it becomes energy, stability, bulk nutrition. A base for other foods. Rice is not just food, it is continuity. 8. Canned meat, the iron protein reserve. When refrigeration dies, fresh meat dies with it, but canned meat survives. Why? Because bacteria are destroyed through intense heat and then sealed away from oxygen. If the can is not bulging, not rusted, not leaking, not dented deeply, the food is safe even years beyond the printed date. Expiration labels refer to quality, not safety. Canned meat is protein. Fat, energy, morale. It is strength you can open with a simple metal tool. 9. Dry pasta, the long-life comfort food. Pasta survives because moisture has been removed. No water, no life. Stored dry and sealed, pasta can last decades. Its only threats are humidity and strong smells. In scarcity, pasta becomes comfort. Easy to cook, easy to digest. Versatile, efficient, with just salt and oil, you have a meal. With canned meat, you have survival. 10. Dry beans, the eternal protein. Beans have carried civilizations through famine, war, and drought. They last because extremely low moisture, no oils, no bacterial environment. Old beans take longer to soften, but remain just as nutritious. Beans plus rice, a complete protein even without meat. This combination can sustain human life indefinitely. 11. Rolled oats. The breakfast of stability. Oats are steamed, flattened, and dried, removing the moisture bacteria require. They store long because low fat, low moisture. Stable structure. Their Achilles heel is humidity. A single patch of mold ruins the entire supply. When fresh food disappears, oats become breakfast bread, energy bars, emergency calories. They require almost no fuel to cook, a critical advantage when resources are limited. 12. Powdered milk, the compressed nutrition block. When children, elderly, and sick people lack fresh food, powdered milk becomes a nutritional lifeline. It lasts decades because all moisture is removed. Fats are stabilized. Bacteria cannot grow. Mold cannot survive its only enemy, air and moisture. Stored sealed, it becomes protein, calcium, vitamins, survival nutrition. A simple scoop can keep a body from weakening in difficult times. The final truth, these 12 foods aren't just storage items, they are time security, mental peace, nutritional insurance, a barrier between fear and control. In a world where stability can vanish overnight, preparedness is not paranoia. It is calm, it is clarity, it is responsibility. These foods don't just last, they endure, they wait, they protect. When the world becomes uncertain, your preparation becomes certainty. Stock them, store them correctly, respect the science behind their longevity. Because one day may not be money or comfort that saves you. It may be the quiet bag of rice in the corner, the forgotten jar of honey on the shelf, the water stored in the darkness, the food that survives time, so you can survive everything else.